The silver chain around your neck dangles like a noose in the dim light of the dawn, its tiny cross pendant catching the first rays filtering through the barred window of your safe house. It's the last remnant of your mother's faith, a relic from a life where prayers meant something more than pleas for survival. You've worn it for years, hidden under your shirt during executions, a silent witness to the blood you've spilled. Now, as you sit on the edge of the bed, staring at it in your palm, you wonder if it's a talisman or a curse, reminding you of the boy you once were, before the cartel reshaped you into their blade. You rise slowly, muscles aching from another sleepless night. The air in Sinaloa is thick with the scent of dust and distant gunpowder, a constant undercurrent that seeps into your pores. Your name is Javier, or at least that's what they call you in the shadows of the organization. No one uses your real name anymore. It's buried deep, like the bodies you've disposed of in the desert. You pull on a crisp white shirt, button it meticulously, and tuck in the chain. Today starts like any other, controlled, calculated, a system you've mastered to keep the chaos at bay. The compound buzzes with low activity as you step outside. Guards nod respectfully, their eyes averting just enough to show deference without weakness. You've earned that fear. As the execution commander for the Sinaloa cartel, your role isn't just to pull triggers, it's to orchestrate the end of lives that threaten the empire. You oversee the interrogations, decide the methods, quick mercy or prolonged suffering, and ensure no traces lead back. It's a position of power, but one laced with invisible chains. One wrong move, and you become the next example. Your phone vibrates in your pocket. It's El Jefe, the boss whose word is law. Javier meeting at the warehouse in 30. Bring the list. His voice is gravelly, unyielding. You pocket the device and head to your truck, the engine roaring to life like a beast awakening. The drive through the arid landscape is routine, cacti standing sentinel along the dirt road. You pass villages where children play in the streets, oblivious or perhaps all too aware of the shadows that fund their meager existence. Your mind drifts to your own sister, Maria, back in the city. She's your vulnerability, the one person who could unravel you. You send her money anonymously, enough to keep her safe, but never enough to draw attention. If they knew about her, she'd be leverage. Arriving at the warehouse, you park amid a fleet of armored vehicles. Inside, the air is cooler, laced with the metallic tang of fear. El Jefe sits at a long table flanked by lieutenants. His eyes, sharp as obsidian, lock onto yours as you enter. Sit, he commands. You comply, placing the folder, the list of targets, before him. It's your compilation, rivals, informants, debtors, each name a story, a family destroyed. We have a problem, El Jefe says, leaning forward. One of our shipments was intercepted last night. Federals or maybe Los Zetas sniffing around. I need you to handle the leak. His finger taps a name on the list. Ramon, a mid-level enforcer who's been acting erratic. You nod, but inside, a flicker of doubt stirs. Ramon's been loyal for years. You trained him yourself. But loyalty erodes in this world like sand in the wind. The meeting drags on, strategies discussed in clipped tones. You contribute precisely, your voice steady, masking the growing unease. As it wraps, El Jefe pulls you aside. Javier, you're my best, don't disappoint. His grip on your shoulder is firm, a reminder of the trust and the threat. You leave with orders, interrogate Ramon tonight. The system demands it. Back in your quarters, you prepare. The toolkit is simple, pliers, knives, a blowtorch, but it's the psychological tools that matter most, words that break minds before bodies. You stare at the cross pendant again, fingering its edges. It gleams mockingly. Your first identity erosion creeps in, remembering the seminary you attended as a teen, dreaming of priesthood before poverty drove you to the streets. Now you're the devil's confessor. Evening falls heavy. You drive to the holding cell, a nondescript shack on the outskirts. Ramon's already there, bound to a chair, his face bruised from the initial grab. He looks up as you enter, eyes widening in recognition. Javier, hermano, what's this? His voice cracks, a mix of confusion and betrayal. You close the door, the click echoing like a judgment. Ramon, you know why I'm here. You circle him slowly, the floorboards creaking under your boots. He protests innocence, but you press on, recounting discrepancies in his reports. The interrogation builds methodically, questions turning to accusations, silence punctuated by his labored breaths. Then the first compromise. He breaks sooner than expected, tears streaming. It was my wife, he sobs. She's sick, needs medicine. The feds offered cash. You pause, the words hitting close. Maria's face flashes in your mind, her letters about struggling with rent. Vulnerability mirrors your own. For a moment you hesitate, the system cracking at its edges. But the cartel doesn't allow mercy. You reach for the pliers, the metal cold in your hand. You should have come to me, you murmur more to yourself. The morally disturbing scene unfolds. His screams fill the room as you extract a tooth, blood splattering your shirt. It's not the pain that haunts, it's the detachment you feel, like watching from afar. Another erosion, the line between justice and cruelty blurs, your soul chipping away. Hours later, you dispose of the body in the desert, the night sky vast and indifferent. Sand whispers underfoot as you bury him shallow, coyotes howling in the distance. Back home, you wash the blood off, the water swirling red down the drain. The cross pendant feels heavier now, a symbolic weight pressing against your chest. You collapse into bed, but sleep evades. In the quiet, emotional scene that follows, you pull out an old photo from your drawer, Maria as a child, smiling innocently. You trace her face with a finger, whispering apologies into the void. I'm doing this for us, you lie to yourself. Tears come unbidden, rare in this hardened life. The vulnerability surges. If they touch her, everything crumbles. Morning brings disruptions. Entry, your phone rings, an unknown number. Javier, a voice hisses, distorted. We know about Ramon and we know about your sister. Panic spikes, the controlled system fracturing. Who? A rival cartel, internal betrayal. You smash the phone, heart pounding. The first major escalation, your world tilts. You gear up, holstering your pistol, the cross chain tucked away like a secret shame. Heading out, you scan the streets, paranoia budding. Every shadow hides eyes. You meet with a trusted informant in a crowded market, the bustle of vendors masking your words. Find out who's watching, you order. He nods, slipping away, but doubt festers. Returning to the compound, you notice inconsistencies, a guard averting his gaze too quickly, a vehicle out of place. The system you control now feels like a trap. In your office, you pore over files, the pendant swinging as you lean forward. Another identity erosion, you question your own loyalty, wondering if you've become the leak without realizing. The day peaks with a raid simulation drill, but your mind races. El Jefe calls you in again. Trouble? He asks, sensing your edge. You deflect, but his scrutiny lingers. As you leave, a courier hands you a package, anonymous. Inside, photos of Maria at her apartment. The threat solidifies, rage boils, but you channel it. You track a lead to a safe house in the hills, arriving at dusk. Kicking in the door, you find two low-level Zetas operatives. The fight is brutal, fists, knives, gunfire echoing. You emerge bloodied, one dead, the other captured. Interrogating him on site, his confessions spill. They've been infiltrating for months using insiders. Dragging him back, you report to El Jefe. Praise follows, but the compromise deepens. You've killed for the cartel, but now it's personal. Protecting Maria means deeper entanglement. The moral weight presses. How many more Ramones? Night descends. You sit alone, the cross in hand, its edges digging into your palm. The recurring symbol mocks your erosion, a faith long corrupted. Reflections haunt. You're no longer the protector, but the monster in the mirror. The system holds, but cracks widen. Disruption has entered, and compromise tastes like ash. The dawn light bleeds through the curtains like an open wound, and you wake with the taste of copper still on your tongue. Your hand instinctively reaches for the silver cross, but your fingers close around empty air. The chain snapped sometime during the night, the pendant lost somewhere in the sheets. You search frantically, heart hammering, until you find it wedged between the mattress and the wall. The tiny Jesus figure is bent slightly, one arm twisted at an unnatural angle. You stare at it, the first real fracture in the symbol that has followed you this far. You don't fix it. You simply slip the damaged cross back around your neck and let it rest against your skin, colder than before. The phone you smashed yesterday lies in pieces on the nightstand. You've already replaced it with a burner, but the photos of Maria remain burned into your retinas. Her walking home from the university, laughing with a friend, unaware of the lens. Someone has been close enough to smell her perfume. The violation feels personal, intimate, worse than any execution you've carried out. You dress quickly, black shirt, dark jeans, the pistol already warm from being slept beside, and step into the day that will finish breaking you. First stop, Maria's apartment building in Culiacan. You don't go inside, that would be too dangerous now. Instead, you circle the block twice, eyes scanning rooftops, parked cars, the old man selling tamales who suddenly looks too still. No obvious tales, but the paranoia has teeth now. It gnaws at the edges of every decision. You text her from the new number, one line only, "Stay inside today, I'll explain later." No reply comes, she's probably in class. You tell yourself she's safe, but the lie tastes thinner every time. Back at the compound, the atmosphere has shifted. Guards move with tighter shoulders, conversations stop when you pass. Word of the Zeta safe house raid has spread, along with the rumor that you brought back only one live body and that he talked before you silenced him. El Jefe summons you immediately. His office smells of cigar smoke and old leather. He doesn't rise from his chair. "You're slipping, Javier." The words land soft, almost paternal. "First Ramon, now this. People are asking questions." You meet his gaze. "I handled it." "They were watching my family." A long silence. Then he exhales smoke in a slow plume. "Family is a luxury we can't afford. You know the rule." The second identity erosion hits like a slow blade between ribs. You realize you've started thinking of the cartel as we. Not them, we. The distinction you once clung to has dissolved. You nod once, accepting the reprimand, but inside something vital tears loose. That afternoon, you're assigned cleanup duty on a rival stash house that went sideways during a turf skirmish. 6 bodies, 3 of them teenagers barely old enough to shave. You arrive after the shooting has stopped, the air still thick with cordite and fierce sweat. Your team moves methodically, gloves on, tarps down, bleach ready. You supervise from the doorway, arms crossed, watching your men drag the corpses like sacks of grain. One boy is still breathing, shallow rattles in his chest. His eyes find yours, wide, pleading, the same color as Maria's. You could call for a medic. You could end it quickly. Instead, you step forward, kneel, and press the muzzle of your pistol to his forehead. His lips move, forming a word you can't hear over the ringing in your ears. You pull the trigger. The shot is deafening in the small room. Blood sprays across your boots. You stand, wipe the barrel on his shirt, and walk outside. The sun is merciless. You vomit behind a dumpster, bile burning your throat. No one sees, no one comments. When you return, the team has already loaded the last body. You drive the truck to the desert yourself, choosing the loneliest stretch of sand you know. As the hole deepens, the damaged cross swings forward with each shovel thrust, glinting dully. You pause once, breathing hard, and press the twisted figure against your lips. It tastes of salt and metal. Night falls. You don't go home. Instead, you drive to an abandoned chapel on the edge of town, a place you used to visit in the early days when guilt still had sharp edges. The roof is half collapsed, stars visible through the gaps. You sit in the last pew, the wood splintered under your weight. The quiet, emotional scene arrives uninvited. You pull out your phone and scroll through old messages from Maria. Her last one 3 weeks ago. "I got an A in literature. Wish you could read the essay. Love you, big brother." You type a reply you'll never send. "I'm sorry, I don't know how to stop." Your thumb hovers over the screen. Tears fall onto the cracked display, blurring the words. The third identity erosion comes quietly, almost gently. You realize the man who once dreamed of salvation no longer exists. What remains is a hollowed vessel wearing his face, performing rituals of violence because stopping would mean facing the void. You stand, walk to the altar, and place the broken cross on the dusty stone. For a moment you consider leaving it there. Then you pick it up again. Some habits are stronger than shame. The next 48 hours blur into a tightening spiral. El Jefe grows colder. Meetings are shorter. Your suggestions are met with silence. You catch lieutenants exchanging glances when they think you're not looking. Paranoia blooms into full flower. Every engine noise outside your window is a hit squad. Every unanswered call is betrayal confirmed. You stop sleeping more than 2 hours at a stretch. Coffee and adrenaline keep you upright. Then the final escalation. An encrypted message arrives on the burner. Coordinates, a time, a single instruction: come alone or she dies. Attached is a new photo, Maria bound in a chair, duct tape over her mouth, eyes terrified above the strip of silver. The timestamp is 3 hours old. You don't tell anyone. You can't trust the system anymore. The system has teeth turned inward. You load the truck with extra magazines, a shotgun, the blowtorch you used on Ramon. As you drive into the hills, the damaged cross bounces against your chest with every rut in the road. You talk to it, a loud voice hoarse. "If you're still listening, don't let her pay for me." The rendezvous is an old mine entrance, black mouth yawning in the mountainside. You kill the engine and step out, hands visible. 4 men emerge from the darkness, Zetas, Sicarios, faces masked. One holds a tablet. On the screen, live feed. Maria still alive, still terrified in some unseen room. "We want the roots," the leader says. "All of them. You give us the ledger, we let her walk." You study their stances, count the weapons, you know the math. Even if you fight, even if you win, they've already moved her. The ledger is your death warrant either way. Give it, and El Jefe will skin you alive. Refuse, and Maria dies. Time stretches. Wind moves through the dry grass. You reach slowly into your jacket, pull out the small notebook you've carried for years. The real roots, the real safe houses, the real names. You hold it up, then you drop it. The leader laughs, short and ugly. "Wrong choice." He raises his pistol. You're already moving, drawing, firing, rolling behind a boulder as bullets spark against stone. The firefight is brutal, close, personal. You take one in the shoulder, another grazes your thigh. 2 of them fall. The leader retreats into the mine, shouting into a radio. You pursue, blood soaking your shirt, vision narrowing. Deeper inside, flashlights bob ahead. You hear Maria's muffled cry, real, not a recording. She's here. Around the final bend you find them, the leader, 2 more men, and Maria on her knees, gun to her head. The leader smiles behind his balaclava. Last chance, Comandante. You lower your weapon. The cross chain slips free again, falling to the dirt between you. This time you don't pick it up. In the silence that follows, you understand the loop is complete. There is no escape that doesn't end in more blood, no redemption waiting at the end of the tunnel, only the next compromise and the next, until nothing human remains. You look at Maria. Her eyes meet yours, pleading, forgiving, broken. You raise the pistol one last time, not at them, at yourself. The shot echoes forever down the mine shaft, fade to black. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. If this story stayed with you, type more for another descent.